All right. Hello and welcome to Business in Lahles, session 27. So we're getting on up closer, making our way to that sweet 30 mark. Check in with each of our players and see how their week was. Let's do something out of the ordinary and quite shocking. Perhaps even saving this moment for his birthday. Kadir, how was your week?
How dare you?
Damn. Checkmate.
All right, next person. I'm kidding.
We get it. You're old. Move on. No, I'm kidding. Oh God.
Well played, Matt. Well played. You know what? I'm in a conspicuously good mood. I'm probably gonna die tonight.
Oh.
I feel it coming. There's gonna be a snake queen. She shows up out of nowhere and literally just eats my character whole. Calling it from downtown.
Oh my.
This is a good week though.
That's good. So we make it closer and closer to the weekend. Thursday is just becoming one of my more favorite days. Trace, how was your week?
Good.
Anything you want to share?
Nope.
Are you sure?
Yep.
All right.
What are answers, man?
One day I'll get them. Rekid, how was your week?
It was good. I had a couple culinary adventures in the personal kitchen. That was fun.
Did it work?
It did. I made made a couple of Spanish recipes. One of them was a garlic and chicken recipe that took 24 cloves of garlic. It was pretty good.
That seems a bit excessive.
It is.
So was it just chicken flavored garlic, or was it?
So when garlic is simmered and cooked like that, it's not like overpowering anymore. It's actually really nice. So you're just like eating whole cloves of garlic like nothing.
Oh, you have to cook it enough to get through that point of overpowering.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So it almost turns into like a butter saute or something, right?
Basically.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
That's a little disappointing, actually. I was really hoping that it would just be overpowering, just garlic meal.
Like you killed a vampire a state away.
Basically, yeah.
Kill the vampire and their next of kin, yes.
It's actually kind of interesting that you're doing like a Southwestern thing. I've been on like a Southwestern kick myself, making things. I did like a Spanish rice stuffed in a zucchini.
Oh, nice.
Pretty good. And then we made salsa verde enchiladas with rice and beans.
Oh, that's nice.
All from scratch, which
Yeah.
is not as fun as it seems sometimes.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Southwest food, but this was actually Spanish in the sense of like from Spain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense with like more of the garlic, but that's where my mind went when you said Spanish. I was like, yeah, Southwest, good Tex-Mex food and stuff like that. But Krev, how was your week?
Good. I got my dose number 2 on Monday.
Nice.
So I'm happy to get that out of the way. And I guess with Pfizer, I think it's only a week I think they might recommend 2 weeks actually to be safe. But at that point, you're considered fully vaxxed. So it'll be nice to start seeing people again soon. So I'm happy about that because it's been far too long.
So you say get vaxxed. Is that like your entire body or what are we talking here?
Like vaccinated.
I know.
Yeah.
I was making a joke.
Well, I wasn't sure, like if it was like maybe a like a sling.
I can explain this. So we do things a little bit differently here in America. When we say get vaxxed, you're right. It is an all body experience. There's kind of like an Iron Maiden type event. You close your eyes and there's a coffin filled with needles. And then the way that they vax you is one of the needles has a vaccine in it. And then they just close the door and reopen it real quick, 5 seconds tops.
Because we're so edgy in America.
Maybe it's just us as people that live in Jacksonville. Anything that ends in ax, we cut the word off there. You know,
Hell yeah.
And we just call it Jax. You know, maybe vaccine gets
Jax.
cut off at Vax. You know,
how did nobody advertise Jax Vax?
I don't know. Because everybody just called it.
We're just not social enough to find out.
Everybody just called it the Fauci ouchie, and that was kind of it.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Yeah, but
Some of them.
anyways.
Also, just because it sounds like it has an X in it doesn't mean that it does, but in Jacksonville it means that it does.
Exactly.
Welcome to Duval.
Yep, Duval. No.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
no.
goodness.
All right. Can we ban this
Moving
man?
on. Onyx, last one. How was your week?
Oh.
Swoop him right out of here.
Oh no. No swooping. Only scooping. Anyway, so my week was full of Mondays again. Just crazy people at my job. And I'm happy for the weekend to be coming. And I'm happy to be celebrating Kadir's birthday this weekend. Yes. Excited.
Nice.
Oh man. Oops, on Mondays again. How did this happen?
It's like a whole hand of Mondays. What am I gonna do? I gotta burn the cards, get a new deck, you know?
Sounds like it. Well, at least again the weekend's close, and from what it sounds like, each of you will have a very fun event-filled weekend.
Yes.
What? Who would like to take the point on giving the recap before we get into tonight's game?
Christian.
I second that. Go.
Make it up. Do it.
Make it record.
And there we were, Frieza getting ready to blow up Faerun, and
we're not in Faerun though.
But we are now. Please continue. Grabs popcorn.
And then it was revealed Voldemort was leading the 1T.
All right, canon. What? It's a better explanation for partial tongue than Rolling ever gave.
So what about Darth Vader? What did he do?
Choked a bitch, of course. What do you mean?
He beamed down the Dalek.
All right. Well, this has been a fun game and everything, but I think it's time I have to go.
All the GGs.
Is your cake calling you?
No, the nap, the blanket calls.
We tried to take attendance of all the spy snakes, but no one fessed up because we suspected there was a spy. That was shortly after our fortress fight with the Queen, Wiwanti.
I can't tell if he's still making things up.
Remember, I was like, all right, everyone who's a spy, raise their hand. And then no one raised their hand. That happened, for sure.
That did happen.
All right.
My friend was poisoned and we had to save him. We brought him back to town. What?
Through combined efforts of Krev and Wreck-It Wop.
Yeah, we told Bradgar about the spies and everything, and our adventures of killing the Queen, and the survivors that were brought back to town, and we headed back to Renus's place. I don't think we really got to quite tell him everything yet, but starting to.
And then there was what was probably the most important part. So we had I remember now, after the refugees, we came back, escorted the refugees from the Wanti temple who were taken as slaves, escorted the refugees back, the refugees / ex-slaves back to Lahles, saving their lives effectively. After doing so, spoke to Bragdar and discovered he was having a conversation with a mysterious woman. Upon entering the room of this overheard conversation, we shouted, "Why don't you close the goddamn door?" And then broke out in a song. It was really popular. And he was extremely hesitant to reveal who he was speaking to. In fact, he played it off like it didn't even happen. So we did what we did best. We tried to fuck shit up. And I told Trace to follow Bragdar, and insinuating that he was hiding something, while the rest of us went back to Renus's place, and Rekid got wild Rekid. I think Krev, somebody else was taking care of Rekid besides Trace, maybe, but I can't remember. At any rate, Trace followed Bragdar out into the plains, or out into the forest rather, west of town.
Them mosquitoes, yo.
Yeah, you gotta watch out. Oh man, I would just quit. You can't kill me if I quit. And overheard a conversation between Bragdar and Samira, the leader of the Wheat Civets. Now, this was a little bit weird because they're dire enemies who are literally fielding armies against each other, just kind of meeting in the middle of the night for reasons. It was heavily insinuated from the conversation that Trace had so stealthily overheard that implying that both Samira and Bragdar were somehow inhuman or not like other people. It also became known that Bragdar had murdered Samira's husband. Great time.
And that he was his brother, too.
Yes, also another important factoid. So we kind of figured out how everyone's tied together and why Samira hates Bragdar, but we don't really... there's still more that we feel we don't know, which is what is the compass that Samira gave us, and why is she treating it like it's so important to Bragdar? And how fucked are we that Bragdar literally has this compass while he's meeting with her?
So we decide to kill all of them.
Yeah, we're kind of leaning in that direction eventually. I say we. Really, it's just Trace who's going to kill them, actually. The rest of us are just going to watch Trace do it.
I don't know. I do believe Rekid at one point had said that he was looking for 2 coups and for the price of 1.
This is true.
2 cute ka-chew. Nice Death Note post.
But that was pretty good, Kadir. There were a couple things that you trickled in there that definitely didn't happen, but was entertaining to say the least.
It wasn't the bit about Bragdar breaking into open song, was it? Because that happened.
No, not that part. The part about him speaking with somebody. That's what I was referencing, of course. Pure sarcasm. Yes, of course, the song.
How dare you?
You got me shook.
But like I said, that was pretty good. Does anybody have anything that they like to add on to it before I add on my narrative?
I would like to say I could not have remembered any of the narrative at all without Rekid absolutely just starting my creative engines. So by Rekid, I mean Christian. I'm not going to start calling Christian Rekid unless he's okay with it.
Only in game for now.
Yeah. And I think it was just Trace keeping an eye on Rekid, because at one point, Rekid thought Trace had just gone to the bathroom for a long time.
Yes, that's right. You were sitting at the bar when he was gone, thinking he was in the bathroom.
Yeah, you were sitting with Sir Riffin exchanging a few stories. But other than that, no one in particular was keeping an eye on you.
Yeah.
I believe it was Sir Riffin the one that was poisoned that we saved, or was it?
Yep.
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Pretty good little add-ons there at the end. I think that the few of those were fairly important. So we will begin tonight with this. As each of you had made it back into the city of Lahles after saving Sir Riffin and over 60 others from the Yuan-Ti from certain death, Each of you quickly went and spoke to Bradgar Grin at the Corn Silk Rat Guild Hall. Afterwards, Kadir, Onyx, and Krev went back to the Whisper of Life Tower, home of Renus, to speak with him, leaving Reckon and Trace back at the Guild Hall tavern with Sir Riffin for a bit of refreshments. As you had stated, Kadir, as time passed, Trace did follow whom he believed to be Bradgar outside of the East Gate, and with his suspicions confirmed, did overhear a very telling conversation with Samira and Bradgar. Then, stealthily making his way ahead of Bradgar, meeting back up with Redkit, then playing a bit of a performance, which may have not been so much needed with Reckid's reputation already of being a bit drunk and Trace escorting him back to Renus' tower. But we continue our game on the night of May 2nd, getting into the 3rd, year 1101. As we approach the early morning hours, each of you are still standing in the kitchen having this conversation, Trace just relaying a few important details. Samira accusing Bradgar of being something more than he is. Learning that Bradgar had indeed killed Samira's husband, which was also, is also his brother.
Was.
It was, yeah. But with that,
Wait.
leaving
I think it
Samira.
depends on if his brother's corpse is considered a creature or an object. First of all.
Aha.
But leaving you each with that. Flames flickering from the candles, giving off a bit of light. It's silent, other than each of your breathing. You can hear a very low-toned moan coming from downstairs. Awen, still with a tummy ache.
Oh, poor boy.
Humans.
So I open it up to the floor for each of you at this point, with that information, giving everyone like the opportunity to give a bit more conversation about this, considering it was, considering it was just right at the end of our session.
Last I remember, we didn't get to basically debrief Renus on the Guanxi camp and everything. So if it's still pretty late, right? I don't know if he's going to be up for this, but
It is fairly late, but Renus is not here. It is just each of you and the Goblin Twins.
oh, okay.
Question. I'm sorry, you might have said this, but I know we rolled to make the tonic to help Awen, but did we apply it?
Indeed.
Okay. All right. So, well, at this point, I suppose we are just babysitting to make sure that Awen gets better. Yes.
Well, do we really need to do that? I mean, will that help in any way? I mean, we're not medics, any of us.
I mean, I'm decent with it.
Doesn't he have like a parent or something? Or an uncle?
Yes, Renus. Who is unfortunately not here at the moment.
Didn't we do medicine? We did herbalism kits to create checks to do to create the medicine. But we already applied it again. How long has it been since we applied it?
Just about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Trace, you would note, because this was a kind of a flashing detail from last week, that you did spot Renus making his way past you, heading towards the East Gate. And then you had noted him making his way back with Bradgar towards the Guild Hall.
Right, so he's probably in the guild hall, but wouldn't he return at night? Normally?
Normally.
And what time is it?
It is past midnight. From when you were last outside, it was getting near 1 a.m.
You know what? I'm going to go snoop again. I'm really good at that stuff. I'm going to like stake out the guild hall for a moment to see if I can track him down.
What time of day is it right now? I'm sorry.
1 o'clock in the morning, going from May 2nd to the 3rd.
So 1 a.m.
Correct.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Yeah, never mind. We need.
Each of you had gotten back fairly late in the evening, and then after taking the time to make the medicine, and at the same point, Trace following, getting fairly late into the night now.
All right. Yeah, I'm. It's time to rest then.
How far away is the guild hall?
It's about 15-20 minutes away.
I'm just going to do a really thick, I'm just going to walk over there really fast before I go to sleep.
Okay.
Just to see if I can see Venus and Bradgar, etc.
The rest of you just retiring for the night?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Trace, you make your way back towards the Cornsilk Rat Guild Hall. There, you see the 6 guild members standing outside, standing at guard, with the doors closed. You can still hear a bit of the sounds from within.
There's no window I can peek inside or anything?
Well, knowing Bradgar's office is on the 2nd floor, while on this side you don't see a window, but you know there is a window at his office.
I'm going to do some climbing. I think that makes sense. I'm going to go to the other side and climb up to the window and look in.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast Pass Without Me first.
Nice.
And someone named the spell after me. That's pretty cool.
That is sick.
It's really cool.
One of a
It's
kind.
an honor.
Yeah.
Absolute honor.
So go ahead and make your stealth check. Not that it necessarily matters. And then give me an athletics check for your climb.
Good thing cast Pass Without Trace.
I mean, we passed without you.
So 25 stealth and 18 climbing.
So you make your way up, scaling the walls, grabbing little parts of bricks where the mortar's missing, and enough to just get some of your fingertips in there, hoisting yourself up, and up to where you know Bradgar's office window to be.
I'm just going to listen first of all. Just like breathe in and listen, see if I can hear anything.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
$29.
You don't hear anything.
I take it. Well, I'm invisible, right? So, but I open. I look inside the window.
Just see the fireplace a bit low, the flame to a dull roar, and who you know to be Bradgar just leaning against his desk, asleep.
I can hear him sleeping, right?
He doesn't seem to be snoring. You just see him. Seems calm. The breaths are slow.
So he's alive, right?
Looks
That's
like
what
it.
I'm checking. Looks like it. I don't like the
Yeah,
looks.
well,
like
I mean,
it.
like you know that he's breathing and stuff, so that's what.
I mean,
it
you
looks
look like you're alive.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Yeah, fair. This fellow is kind of ominous, you know. I mean, I just want to make sure.
My point being is, I didn't mean for it to sound ominous. Like I'm just saying, like you're looking that it looks like it.
Is there any chance I can see if the door's locked?
You look over. Unfortunately, you can't tell.
Oh well, this has to do. I'm going to get back down and return home. Well, return to the tower.
All right. as you're making your way back, Trace, you will indeed spot Renus making his way back towards the tower.
I'm good. I'm like going to stealth up next to him, and just like as soon as I stand next to him, I say, "Hey, how you doing?"
He jumps back. He looks around, and for just like a brief moment, you kind of appear in front of him as just a bit of light catches you, before then it flickers away, and you go back invisible. Trace, was that you?
Yeah. Sorry, I was out for a little walk. I just wanted to say, hey.
Why are you out so late? Do you need to be in bed?
I don't sleep. You do realize that, right? And I do like the night. It's kind of my thing, you know. It's more calm at this time.
You don't even take a moment to rest.
Oh, I will in a moment, I guess. But what are you doing out this late?
Taking care of Bradgar. The others had told me he had gone to speak with Samira.
Oh,
Or believed it to be her.
Yeah, he had, for sure. I watched with my own 2 eyes. Did you learn anything?
Looking towards where your voice came from, still being unable to see you, of course, you see his face look a bit confused, puzzling. What do you mean you saw it?
I saw him talking to her.
I'm guessing that you used this trick.
Yes,
order to...
I have some useful talents. I cast light in my hand, just so he can see me. Kind of rude to go in the dark.
And with being able to see you now, he'll begin walking side by side with you, making the way back to the tower. Well then, what did you hear?
Well, a few very strange things. I heard something about his brother, apparently. And Baghdad killed him? Which I found very disturbing. I also learned that Samira was his brother's wife, if I'm not wrong. And then there was a few other hints I really can't get into before we have my friends here. Even more disturbing things, to be honest with you.
Well, I expect your friends to be asleep by now. They were taking care of the little one before it departed.
Yeah, I think we should just talk it over tomorrow morning and just like get all the facts straight as much as we can to see what we need to do next. Because I'm very confused, I must admit.
I must say, from what you've just informed me, my stomach is turning itself over and over.
All this politics and talking is just, it's not something I leave for Kadir. I'm not good at it.
No, but being good at spying, as you seem to be, does play well into politics. Information is, well, not just useful, but powerful as well.
That is very true. I will use my abilities as good as I can to help the right people, of course.
Well, then we will need to be discussing quite a bit in the morning.
That sounds fair. I agree.
As he opens the door to the tower, you note that it's fairly quiet, other than Awen still giving off a little bit of a moan. Renus makes his way over to him, re-damps the cloth, placing it back on his head, and then checking around. It does seem that they were able to at least put something together, and, well, the fever seems to be coming down as well. I will sleep down here as he begins to get himself a bit comfy in a nice red armchair. See, it's got quite a bit of nice wood carving, giving it a bit of decoration, and the cushions are pretty big.
I'm going to place myself in front of the main door and meditate there.
All right. Well, then with that, I am pretty sure I gave you each your experience last session with, planning on just perhaps talking a little bit before getting some rest. But just to confirm, each of you are at 16,754.
Yeah, I don't keep track, so I wouldn't know.
Checking. 16,754.
Yep.
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 Dope.
I'm at 17,888.
Take
Nope.
that back. So with that then, as each of you get a nice, well-deserved rest, move into a little bit later into the morning hours of May 3rd. Instead of waking up at your normal 6:30, getting to bed a bit later into the night, each of you will awake roughly around 9 a.m.
All right, sounds good.
This time, the only difference as each of you make your way out of bed, getting ready for the day, is you do not smell any breakfast cooking. However, knowing that Renus is probably taken care of or perhaps got to sleep a bit late himself, not being home till after each of you had gone to bed, probably sleeping in.
I will make breakfast. I don't know if... Yeah, I'll make breakfast.
While making your way into the kitchen, you see plenty of resources: oats, fruit. You notice a small slab where you note there to be a little bit of blood, and underneath you will find bits of various meats. So you have a nice variety of things to work with.
Grab it.
Probably somewhere around here, knowing Renus.
But go ahead and give me a cooking check. If you're proficient in it, just use the your utensils. If you're not, just give me an intelligence check. Yeah,
guidance.
There's plenty of things here that you can get together. And as like you're cooking, like the first little bit doesn't come out necessarily as much as you'd like it, but being a little bit more used to cooking to an open flame versus a more conventional style, little bits of like a stone oven and things of that manner, you're able to get a hold of it and make a nice breakfast. So, describe what each and everyone smells as they make their way down.
For breakfast, we'll just go with egg omelets with a side of fruit and some sausage and cheese tucked inside.
How about you on tea bacon?
I don't think. Well, I mean, I do have a one. Well, no.
You want to eat
How
on
can
tea
you eat
bacon?
that? That's probably not healthy in any way.
Could be like we ate your queen, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Just like you as a human can't eat other humans, because that's not good for you.
Oh my
I
gosh.
mean, once he eat humans or seem to.
I mean, you
So-
haven't.
Well, as each of you make your way down with this nice breakfast prepared by Kadir, you will hear Venus making his way up. And in his hand in hand, you'll see Awen walking, seeming fully recovered, back to his normal green self. Seeing each of you. Hi!
Krebs handiwork. It worked. Ewan, how are you feeling?
Much better.
And what did we learn about strange barrels with mysterious liquids in them?
It tastes good.
Do not drink out of them.
I look up at Renus unblinkingly.
He just shakes his head, and then he looks back at you, saying, "You see what I have to deal with. It's hard being a father."
I can't tell if you should lock them down or everything else.
Awen, go get your brother. Be down after, well, here. In fact, how about you each eat breakfast upstairs? I know I'm going to regret this later, but I do believe, as he looks over towards the rest of you, we have a bit to discuss.
Yes.
Trace looks around, confused, on the breakfast table. You call this food?
There's no rabbit.
Huh. Oh well. Omelette, a poor man's rabbit.
I have nothing to say to this.
I feel like we just try to set him up for it, like, subconsciously.
Yeah. I'm okay with that. Trace eats.
Awen grabs a couple of the plates with the omelets and the sausage and the fruit, and as he makes his way up, you just hear, and as you look over, you see an omelet on the stairs, him stepping on it, looking back, just goes, "Oops," and then keeps going quickly up the stairs.
Children.
Renus makes his way over, starts cleaning it up. Then, after he hears the door close, looks over, says, "Well, Trace had informed me of some interesting news last night. I'm assuming he's told you the same."
About what?
I believe so.
I don't think he has told us yet.
No.
I told you right away.
I'm pretty sure he did, yeah.
I was pretty drunk, to be fair.
So nothing abnormal there?
Well, let us all get on the same page, to be sure. Trace, would you like to iterate?
Well, what had happened was I spied on Bragdar last night, and as he went outside the city to visit someone, and he happened to talk to Samir. It was a very interesting conversation. They apparently had a lot of things in the past together. Like Bragdar's brother was apparently Samir's husband, and Bragdar apparently killed that brother at some point. That was like the base of it, but there's also a few interesting things that was like hinted at in the conversation. Like, first and foremost, that Bragdar wasn't what he seemed to be. She almost seemed to refer to him being something else.
Like not human?
Yes.
Did he deny this?
No. That's why it caught my ear, in a way. Samir also referred to the compass as being something very special and important to Bragdar. For some strange reason. I didn't get either.
Well,
but I think that's the gist of it, really. But there's a few worrying things, in my opinion.
Well, we are all men here in one way or another, of mankind.
Elf.
Elfenkind.
I'm kidding. Thank you.
There is not a person here who has not made a mistake, and especially when one wields power, as we do, as Bradgar does. We do not know the situation, and we cannot. I do not believe we can judge.
I agree.
but I do believe we can ask. Renus, does any of this information quarrel with you?
Extending his hand away from his jaw, he just kind of waves it in the air. He says, I have no quarrel with what's being discussed. My issue, and well, if any, just remains in why you would hold a city hostage with a family quarrel. Seems petty.
Yes, there is no doubt, at least to me, that Samira is still the enemy here.
I agree.
She is, after all, willing not only to sacrifice us to the 1T, but to her own men as well. And even her own people. There is no allegiance with that.
She seems very emotional for being considered a city leader.
Which does beg the question, what has driven her to this? And, well, I believe that is something we have learned.
Trace, when you had gone out there, did you see her camp?
She was teleported by some kind of magical object. So no, I did not. Well, I saw through her. I saw a little through the window of the portal. Did I see anything? I didn't, did I?
You did see a bit of the encampment, mainly noting that it was bearing the Wheat Civet banner.
Yeah. Okay. I saw the Wheat Civet banner in the camp. That's about it, really.
That is a large amount of magic to expend for such a meeting. I think it is odd that she would meet him alone, hate him so, then not seek to strike him down, or vice versa. It is an odd situation to have a conversation in.
It is, yeah.
Well,
A bit of honor, though. If you're intent to come here and strike the individual down, well, having your foe face to face is better than stabbing them in the back, I suppose.
There's one thing I'm wondering, though. I mean, what is Samira's motivation behind all this? And there could be one simple answer. Maybe she sees Bragda as a bigger threat compared to the UNT. Maybe whatever Bragda is worse than the UNT.
Or she merely hates him so much that she wishes to take Lahles from him before she kills him.
That's true.
I think with how much she has connived so far, I believe that is what she seeks. I believe that killing Bragdar, to her, is not enough. She wants to do more to him. I think that is the depth of her hatred.
You could be right.
It is an assumption, but with her, it almost feels like a safe one.
Yeah, I can attempt to agree. But the bigger question is, what is our next play here?
I agree.
Are we going to go for more information? Or are we going to keep attacking the UNT?
Well, Bradgar had somewhat informed me of your endeavors off to the east and what was accomplished, and mainly on how you had saved Sir Riffin. However, my concern is, where are the rest of the forces to the west?
The 1T or Samira?
The 1T. They had attacked over there. I'm sure that couldn't be it, right?
Well, I'm starting to get a feeling that DCUNT has a portal system connecting all the ends so they can travel very, very fast.
Speaking of which, did Bradgar tell you about what we were told about was in the UNT encampment to the east? About the portal?
Some refugee had given you speculation of what they had assumed, but
Yes, that there was
that's all.
supposedly a portal, but that it had been dismantled by the UNT. So, which
I
itself
think
is...
it's... Sorry.
That's important information, knowing that it can be dismantled.
I think it's safe to assume there's a portal to the west as well.
Oh, I'm sure there's plenty. But my inference of them purposefully closing down this portal might be related to our incident with the last one, with Onyx going through and coming back. Now that we know we can go to them through the portal, they might be afraid that we could take an army through it. And now they're dismantling their portals.
That is a good assumption.
Which does imply that perhaps the portal you have secured in the sewers, perhaps we could use that as a mode of attack.
If they haven't already shut it down as well.
From their side, yes.
If I would have to guess, the one portal I think we would be sure they don't shut down is the one in the water. Or whatever that might be. That's a portal as well, right?
Well, if there was one in the bits out to the east, then maybe safe to assume there's one to the south as well.
Well, I think if Samira is to the west, I think as long as Samira is to the west, any 1T we leave out there can be just fine. It offers us a buffer between her. I think we should strike decisively against the 1T if we can. That should be the next move.
I think we should go through the portal. And bring a lot of deadly magic with us.
Before that, I think I would like to make sure we have the trade route to the east secured. There may be more people over there to save as well. These are just thoughts, though.
I have a feeling we're just stalling, though. I mean, I think that no matter what we do, we can't. I mean, the UNT threat is going to be bigger and bigger and bigger the longer we wait. If we can deal them a good punch now by going through the portal, I think that's going to like both make them think that we can't just go over because they're going to take us back, etc. I think that's going to like create more safety than going after the troops.
Trace, I believe you to speak a bit of truth, but at this point, I fear that if we lose any one of you, well, then Lahles is doomed to the 1T. So perhaps these risks aren't worth taking. If we can destroy it from this side, then why not do so?
That is fair. I am pretty amazing. So yeah, we should probably think about that. That's a good call.
Yes, especially if we lost Deadeye over here. My tongue is not much better for magic than it is for wagging.
So what should we do then? Go west or go east?
Well, it is more strategically important to make sure the east is secured, but I am not sure that there is anything else that needs doing over there. We could, at the very least, go back to the temple and make sure that the portal is secured.
But if we make our way to the port, we should probably make our way to Whitebridge as well, right?
There could be other survivors there.
And I mean, if we could get to Whitebridge, we could establish some kind of like, I don't know, trade route or whatever it might be to get some supplies or else.
It may be possible to establish that as an outpost.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I know that there is much lumber in Whitebridge.
But there's one thing that just crossed my mind that I didn't think about before. When we found the temple, right? We saw that a lot of trees were chopped down. Did we see those trees somewhere? The chopped down trees, or was the wood gone? Kyle.
The wood was gone. You just seen the chop down the stumps.
So maybe, just maybe, the reason the portal was there was to gather wood.
Oh man, they're StarCrafting it.
I mean, that was a lot of wood. Is there any chance I could have a feeling about how much wood they would have gathered there? Are we talking like?
I mean, a pretty decent size or a decent amount. Roughly estimating, like thinking back to it, probably about 25 logs.
Oh. Well, they clearly need that for something, though. A 25 log, you can make a boat of that, I guess.
It is possible.
Yeah.
I mean, a boat. Perhaps if they treated it, they could make ballista. Or other siege weapons.
But anyways, I mean, I think there's a lot of advantages in getting to Whitebridge. Let's say that Lahles fall. In the worst case scenario, we could always what is that word called? When you make someone leave? Evacuate? There you go. Evacuate the people of Lahles to Whitebridge if Lahles fall. So I actually think that going east is a good solution.
Do we know if Whitebridge is safe?
No, that's what we need to find out, right?
The villagers, the refugees that we secured were from Whitebridge. So Whitebridge seems to have been overrun. I do not know if the Yuan-Ti occupy it, but if we are interested in securing safety for Lahles from a siege, assuming that this war with Samira is long-term, securing the path to the east will be strategic. So we may just be walking down a road and wasting time, but we also could be securing a lifeline for whatever happens after the 1T.
Well, no matter what, I mean, if we get to the east and we find nothing, then we also learn something. Then we learn that the UNT don't think that's important. That must be a card in our hand, right?
You have the mind of a hunter, my friend.
I am a hunter. Thank you for noticing. I also like rabbits.
Yes, I I apologize for not making you one.
Thank you.
Well,
So, shall we get going?
It does sound that each of you have a bit of a plan then.
I guess we go east, we double check the portal at the temple, and we see what's going on in Whitebridge. Perhaps there might be more people to save. Perhaps there's enough of a town left we can establish an outpost. If that is the case, we will come back to Lahles and advise Bradgar to establish, or Bragdar to establish a base of operations.
On your way back, when you go to examine the remains of the portal, if you can, if that's nothing too big or of a hindrance, you should bring back some for me. Perhaps there's a bit that I could learn from it.
Very well.
Back a bit of the portal?
Yes.
If there are runes on the portal, I will bring you. A charcoal scraping. Lila.
Much appreciated. And I think it might be best that I give Bradgar his space for the day.
I'm sure he is plenty shaken from what happened last night. Given the content of that conversation, I'm sure it was not pleasant for him. Regardless of whatever happened between him and his brother. Renus, I have a question now. Did
Go
you
on.
know that Bradgar had a brother?
He shakes his head. No, I did not.
I would like to insight that.
Sure.
Now's a point for Nat 20, please. Oh, no, I guess not. Maybe not, though. All right,
Well,
cool.
After growing a bit of a relationship with Renus, you're fairly confident that he's not lying to you.
Well, we have put all of our faith in you, Renus. I believe you.
Well, this conversation will remain between the 6 of us. No one else. If you stop by the guild in order to acquire some assets for your journey, don't speak to anyone on where you'll be going. I think that might be best.
What if Bradgar asks where we're going?
Well, if confronted, I wouldn't suggest lying, but perhaps dancing around the answer is a better cause.
Is there any way we could get out of the city without him knowing?
Wait.
Word would trickle back in time after making your way through the gate, but
Maybe just tell them we're looking for more survivors, more.
I'm actually thinking that might be a good call. I mean, we don't know anything about Bradgar, whatever he might be, or who he's working with. If we get out of the city without him knowing, then we might be able to eliminate the fact that he's working with the UNT. I don't think that's likely, but still.
Are you saying that out loud, or is this out
I'm
of...
saying that out loud, yeah.
Okay. I do not find that likely. I am curious though. Why should we not advise what we're doing strategically to Bradgar? I do not understand.
Just to see what happens.
Not only that, but after his rendezvous with Savmira, if each of you seem to have, left the premises of the city of Lahles, well, that might be a bit odd to him.
And if we leave the city without telling him and he finds out, that will seem even odder.
But the time word comes back, each of you will be gone. And if questions rise, then I will let him know that I have sent you to get the portal, bits of remnants for study.
He will expect us to be back fairly soon then, within a couple days.
Yeah, there's plenty of Monty we will run into, I'm sure.
True. Potentially more
Exactly.
refugees as well.
We had sent a few people to Whitebridge a bit time ago, and with the information that each of you had portrayed, well, you might have a bit of friends there waiting. If all good things pan out well.
Well, very well. On our way to Whitebridge, then. I would like to. Is there anywhere in Lahles I'd be able to try and buy diamonds? Is that a thing?
Unfortunately, not.
I will ask Renus. Renus, I am in need of components. You are used to buying spell components, acquiring them. Is there anywhere in Lahles you go to, even now, to get them?
Not so much at the moment. Most of the resources I pick up come from the guild. I do
Is
have a
there-
few extra if you are looking to acquire some.
I am looking for diamond mostly. I would be happy to trade other gems. I mean, I
Well,
would even trade up to access diamond.
you, others, powerful spellcasters, clerics with the capability of bringing back the dead, all looking for a diamond. And then he'll pat you on the shoulder and say, good luck. My best bet, if you were to come across one, would perhaps be in Glens or maybe in the Dormant Mountains.
Where are those?
Oh shit. Glintz is like way the fuck in the southeast.
Yep, so down to the southeast, and the Dormant Mountains are to the north of Glens.
That's like a month of travel to Glintz, probably.
We might as well just go back to fucking Mito.
That would be about half the distance to Glintz.
Well, we will figure something else out then. Do you think there's any chance that there's spare diamond laying around at the guild? Or am I barking up the wrong tree?
I do think that Bradgar would keep those in case needing to bring back, well, some sort of numbers. But to my knowledge, there's none there. I'm sorry, my friend.
He did mention that he was interested in my handiwork, but well, so I'm sure I could enter into some kind of deal with him, but I suppose now is not really the time. I will just have to do with as is. Thank you, and I do wish you good luck with the portal while we are away.
Oh, yes. Well, been able to recoup a bit of strength the past few days. Not much to necessarily worry about. With each of you clearing a bit of the way, giving us some breathing room, it'll be nice to know that we at least have a fallback plan if needed.
All right, so to Eastgate we go. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
All right. Rekid, Onyx, do you disagree?
No.
Check my spells for the day.
All right. In that case, we'll
Making
ahead
your way
and-
to the east gate then, right?
Yep.
Yay.
Yep.
So, making your way there, as each of you make your way up, of course, the gate is closed, the portcullis lowered. Each of you look over the guild members that are guarding the area. Unfortunately, Trace, you do not spot your new best friend amongst the crowd.
Aw.
A few of the guild members look at each of you a bit confused, and one of them pipes up. What are each of you doing here?
Just open the gate.
Is this the same guy we were not kind to previously?
No.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not. Then
We escorted refugees into the town not too long ago. We are leaving for further action. Please open the gate.
Yes, sir. Look over his shoulder. And as he does, turning, you'll note that he is lower level, an initiate for the guild. It seems more and more often running into newer faces.
So
More
she's
so
what,
often than not.
So he's what, level 2 or something like that?
No, base level initiate.
I know.
Any of these people that we meet, I want to make sure I look at their eyes and make sure they're not slits. Make sure they got like normal eyes.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
All right, cool. I just want to make sure that that's happening. We're not forgetting to do that shit. Oh, neat. That's a halfling one. 14.
Normal eyes.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
But as he gives the signal and the order, the portcullis will begin to raise as you hear the chains clinking. As the wheel begins to be turned, raising the gate, and the wooden doors opening. You look out, you can see the river off to the northeast.
Let's just get moving. It's a nice day, I hope.
Yes, it is a pretty nice day. It's slightly cloudy. There's, a few rain clouds kind of spotted, but it doesn't seem to be too bad. If it does rain, perhaps just a slight drizzle. Nothing to worry about. The sun beats down on each of you, making your way out, feeling a bit warm. However, you are at the river, so I don't know if you would like to go about it the same way or if you would just want to climb over, but of course this is still an obstacle.
I mean, it takes 10 minutes to cast it for 6 people, right? And we are 6 now, so, I mean...
Yeah, the water walk. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, might as well,
Yeah, I'll do the water walk ritual.
I mean, we can do, like, you can start casting it, like, 10 minutes, a minute before we get there, right? 10 minutes before we get there.
True.
Yep.
Cool. So as long as you're cool with that, Krev, being your spell, move you guys over the river. Get across with water walking, no problem.
I would like to, like, when I walk on top of the water, I would like to notice if there's any wildlife in the water.
You can see a few, oh my god, I can't believe I forgot the word for a moment. A few fish here and there. Doesn't seem to be, like, overpopulated with life by any means, but you do spot a few.
Is it water or salt, by the way?
Knowing that it comes attaching to the empty tide sea and also to a lake, it's a little bit of a mixture of both.
As we walk over the water and say, you guys do know, have you guys heard about this fish called the tuna? It's basically the rabbit of the sea. It's amazing.
Yes, but is it the poor man's rabbit of the sea?
No, no. It's the rich man's rabbit of the sea.
Interesting. I sense a new saying coming on.
I didn't think you'd ever eat anything than actual rabbit.
Oh, tuna is good. Well, slightly less than rabbit, of course. But it's good.
I check Trace's eyes, make sure he's not fucking you on teeth. I don't believe him.
All right, I guess we're attacking Trace and we're all dying.
I know, right?
We all lose.
His eyes are slit. Get him! No, he's fine.
I did that once in one of my campaigns. I replaced a Christian with a fake Christian, and then he stole something from the party and attacked them. It was great. They played like 8 games with. They played like 8 games with him before it came up.
Or how about that other time when we found out that Christian was not like biological?
Oh yeah,
he was actually a
he was a replicant. He was a replicant in Star Wars because Star Wars has replicants apparently. And except for that time, he wasn't bad. He was good, but everyone expected him to be bad because it happened after the time where he was a fake party member and bad. So everyone expected it, but it just didn't happen that way.
Well, we were trying to perform surgery, and you're like, there are no organs. And we're like, what?
Yeah, you're just in there, and it's a bunch of black goop, and oh, hey, there's some machine parts in here, too. Oh, and it's beeping. I guess that's a bomb? Oh, man, bad time. Yeah, that was fun. Good game. Good game. So eastward, across the river.
Uh-huh.
All right. Hell yeah. Let's do it.
So you'll get roughly to the turn where the road moves down to the south, heading towards Whitebridge, and where the clearing is, where you know the path to lead up to the temple area. It's getting fairly late in the day. After getting a slightly later start than you would normally, it is getting pretty close to dusk at this point. Each of you will note that the sun is just beginning to set off on the west.
Well, let's check out that portal, shall we? Or do we think there are other one here? Do you think it's worth being sneaky, Trace?
Well, I don't really know. I mean,
Does a rabbit shit in the woods?
Does the Tin Man have a sheet metal cock?
I mean,
Oh my goodness.
A better question. Does a tuna, which is effectively a rabbit, also shit in the woods?
shit's in the seas, though.
And are the seas not just the poor man's rabbit's woods of the earth?
Oh, that's true. That's wise words right there, Kadir.
I feel less
And Trace and
intelligent.
Kadir are best friends now.
I feel I have actively made myself more dumb.
Wow.
Take 9
Imagine.
points of psychic damage.
But, I mean, we can't travel anymore, can we? Without getting exhausted?
Exactly. If you wish to push on, I will need a con save.
No, let's not do that.
Let's
No.
not. I would rather not. Thank you.
I would like to look for good players to, like, camp.
Yeah, until we all take like Brazilian's con, let's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Trace,
I did.
can you give me your survival check? At
That's
advantage,
lovely.
of course.
Sure, I'm just looking if I have anything that... I guess not.
I cast guidance on it.
It's natural 20, so I think I'm good.
Yeah, you find this perfect spot, a little bit behind some trees. It gives that have a few bushes around it. Nice. When you set up everything, you can be quite concealed from the road and also the path. Excuse me, that leads up towards the temple.
Well, it's so perfect, right? There's like 6 chairs and like a table and pre-made dinner and everything in there, right?
And a rabbit.
Yeah, of course. Well, this looks perfect. Let's take our night here. You can see the dark, right, Kadir? Yes, you can. The two of us should take the watches then, so we can save time.
I do not stay up all night anymore.
Oh, well, then I take the watches, I guess.
I can take one if you wish, but just so you know, I do the sleeping thing again. It has worked out well so far.
It is
Until
overrated, though.
Until it doesn't. I'm a little bit afraid.
Well, it's safe for me to assume that this place is very, very well concealed, right? I mean, no one's going to find us here. I take that as a yes. I'm just going to take the entire watch.
Yes,
And
indeed, for sure.
I'll
I mean,
take
you don't have a pet snake anymore, right? Just making sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can take one watch. Seriously, it's fine.
I guess so. I mean, it's just like if you can cut down 4 hours to make it only for 8 hours, right? It's just, but sure. Let's just do normal watches then.
I, at the very least, do have dark vision, so...
That's good.
I can assist somebody who has dark vision in their watch. I'll share the shift. Which one are you taking, Kadir?
The last one. The one where I'll be making breakfast.
I will assist you for the last shift.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we're resting.
Yeah, seems like a pretty good watch order setup.
Good dice, those that used a lot of them that last session.
Kadir.
Yep.
As you
doing?
sleep, you wake in a bit of sweat. As you sit up, you look around. You quickly notice yourself back inside the Voidheart tomb.
Oh no, I am so scared.
You look over to the left, and you see an old friend, Shang. You see him giving his leg a bit of a rub. Seems a bit wounded. Bits of blood starting to protrude through his cloth pants. Gives out a yell. Kadir! You hear your name echo through the chambers.
Am I running?
No, at the moment you are just standing right next to him.
Shang, this is not a place where you should be loud.
Begin
I am right here.
hearing little bits of footsteps. Shang, still looking in the same direction, not acknowledging you at all, as he still calls out your name. His footsteps turn into a quick patter, then cease. All grows quiet. See Shang looking around quite slowly. As he looks up, you see bits of stone begin to crack from the ceiling, fall. And Shang is crushed. Bits of blood spatter across your face.
Oh.
Then, you wake up.
I make breakfast.
So, waking up in a bit of a pant, you then get breakfast ready. Remembering exactly what it was like to sleep long ago. So as each of you wake, getting the nice smell of breakfast in the air, making your way out of your tents and towards Kadir, can each of you, besides Kadir, give me a perception check? Each of you notice a decent amount of blood splatter across Kadir's face. Little bits on his turban. No, even a little bit on his robe.
Kadia, what were you up to last night?
What do you mean, Onyx? I was sleeping.
You look like something exploded upon you, like a human body. Look about yourself. You're quite saturated in blood. I don't know whose blood, but it doesn't look good.
I'll look at my reflection in a pot of water.
And you notice a good amount of blood spatter across your face.
Immediately cast prestidigitation to shuffle it.
So are you going to tell me whose blood that is, or are you going to
Goes
hide
away.
it?
I put the blood in a flask. Or I would like to try to funnel it into a flask.
Sure, as long as you have, I mean, a flask, which, of course you do. Preferably,
I would hope
obviously, an
so.
empty one. That's easy enough.
Yeah, I had a couple from the Umber Hulk
Mm-hmm.
that I was using for Umber Hulk items. I'm adding Shang's blood to my inventory.
So whose blood was that? Who did you play with last night?
I did not play with anyone.
Did you come upon someone that was attacking you then?
I suppose it would be accurate to say my friend died last night.
Oh my. I'm sorry to hear that.
My mentor.
Even worse. And then nonetheless,
I'm
the blood upon
surprised.
your face and about your robes.
And after shuffling it all into a flask, I'll swirl the flask around. Everyone can see this.
Yes.
The
My
others seem
friend-
speechless.
My closest friend died in my dream last night. Perhaps I was sleepwalking and maybe got into one of Trace's rabbits or something.
Who killed him?
It is more of a what than a who. Or perhaps it is even an entity beyond pronouns. It is a sentience, but that does not mean it has an existence. There is no good answer for this. I have resolved to sleep again. And while I do, this is something that I will have to soldier through. And apparently, well, at any rate, breakfast is almost ready.
Oh, wonderful. I've been waiting all night for that.
All right, just make sure you mark down the rations used, and then each of you can make your way up a bit of the way north to the temple, if that's still the plan, or continue on the road.
Would Trace be able to? Trace, would you be able to find? I guess it's a little bit late for that. Never mind. Next time we camp, I would ask. Perhaps you can find some rabbit for us. I do believe I owe you one.
No worries. I can do it fairly easy, so I will do it next time.
Congratulations, you made me add my friend's blood to my inventory.
Well, take that off my checklist. All right, so moving on up to the north, going to the temple.
I think so.
I believe so, yeah.
Well, making your way up to the area, there is definitely no shortage of the smell of rot and decay. As you make your way close, you can clearly see in the daytime the amount of bodies that lay in the area. A lot, getting a bit bloated at this time, being dead for quite a bit of time. Each of you make your way up and inside. Still having your little rope ladder there makes it fairly easy. And to your surprise, other than the awful smell, seems to be pretty quiet.
Could I make a perception check to try to find this portal that's that was originally described by Rekid?
Being inside, at the moment, the only source of light is coming from the top, leaving quite a bit of the room in darkness. So if you'd like to make a perception check, you can do so, but this will be at actually no, you can see in the dark now, so you're good. You just make a regular perception check. So looking around, you see that there's a couple of stone piles, but you see that there's a fairly decent sized one. One that does indeed seem to match the description that Rekid had given you. A smooth stone and, quite large as well.
Stepping forward.
Making your way up to it, you see a decent amount, nearly a dozen smooth stone. Even when it's cracked, you can see where being placed together, it would make a nice, smooth connection. On a few of the stones, you will indeed see some runic engravings.
I would like to... I can't remember what the term is, but when you take a piece of charcoal and run it over paper to get an engraving of what's beneath.
Rubbing?
Mm-hmm.
Rubbing one out.
We got him.
It's just even funnier because Trace just came out of left field with that.
Yeah,
Right.
no, that was
Usually
not
that's
the
a
one to
Krev
make that
joke.
kinda- I know, right? Out of the
I'm
couple
not
peeps.
sure what the technique is called, but I know what you're talking about. It's a good way to get like a trace. Dude.
Rubbing is a good way to get a trace. Got it. Excuse me, I must vomit.
Oh my.
Yeah, I would like to just spend, like 5 minutes to get some of the runes.
Okay. As you pick them up, you will, some of them are pretty decent in size. Nothing too big that you can't put into your bag, but you're not going to be able to carry, more than a couple without weighing you down too much. But as you pick one up, can you roll me a con save, please? You feel this bit of jolt, like an energy. It doesn't hurt, but it's just more of a tickle. But you can feel it tingling all the way up your arm.
I will refrain from touching it directly. Only touching it with a piece of cloth. Going forward.
Okay. Can you give me an intelligence check, please, Kadir?
All right. Guidance, if I can.
Mm-hmm.
Trinity.
So, while it didn't have much of an effect and still a bit of a lingering effect, perhaps, even while this is broken, it still seems to hold some type of arcane or some type of magical property.
How big are these stone pieces?
I mean, there's various of sizes, but from the biggest one is roughly the size of a basketball, and the smallest one that has a good runic engraving on it is the size of a softball. There's a few other ones you can see that are a part of this, but from the looks just appear to be smooth stone.
Okay. Can I make an investigation check to try, or an arcana check maybe, to try and figure out what broke this, or maybe figure out a fracture point, that kind of thing?
Sure. Go ahead and give me an arcana check at advantage.
All right, I'll take that.
Nice.
That is the first one I've had in a long time.
For certain, you feel that what would have broken this apart so abruptly but cleanly is definitely a source of magic. I mean, the main thing that comes to mind is dispel, but perhaps beyond most normal capabilities.
Implying that there is a very, very strong spellcaster at availability here. The magic used to create this and destroy it would both be of godly levels. So I have etchings of the runes. Alternatively, I would like to take, if I can figure out which, you said all of these stones appear to have some level of magic in them. If I could take the one that seems to have the most, if that is something I can ascertain, I'd like to do so.
There are ways for sure, but at the moment, it would be pretty difficult to tell. You'd assume at the moment the best thing I can give you is the larger the size, the more magic.
Okay. I mean, I'll take one of the basketball-sized ones.
Okay. While Kadir is doing all this, what are the rest of you doing?
Looking for rabbits. No, I'm just watching. I'm just making sure that nothing's going on. Like looking at what Kadir's doing and looking like the surroundings and so on.
Was the
watchdog?
Was the queen's body still outside?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Do you think someone should destroy the body in case they want to bring her back?
I almost thought we should bring it back to Lahles to study. I don't know if that's...
It's kind of heavy though.
Oh, yes, but... I mean,
it's like you said it was like 20 to 40 foot long or something like that?
very skinny. What do we expect the weight of it to be, since it's not fat?
Well, in my experience, even if something weighs like 200 pounds, if it's like just dead weight, it feels like 500. So.
True, but our dragging capacity is pretty high.
I mean,
not to mention I could transform into something that
with
can carry more.
With your like intelligence and wisdom and knowing a good amount about animals, I mean, you could safely assume somewhere near roughly 300 to 400 pounds. Feel like it's a safe guess.
It's not terrible. I mean, a couple of us could do that, dragging it. I mean,
but it would drastically slow down our pace. I'm not sure this is.
I mean, I alone could drag 420 pounds in my normal form. So with 2 people, I think it would probably bypass the, rough terrain movement or whatever. But I mean, I could also
actually,
transform into something.
looking it up, which this one is much larger than, an anaconda. An anaconda weighs roughly 550 pounds, so this might actually weigh somewhere near like 1,500.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds closer. Yeah.
Yeah, I was given like a pure guess. I had no idea like how much like a snake weighs. I assumed it'd be much lighter, to be honest.
Yeah, I was thinking of anacondas and like seeing that it takes like like multiple people to lift those bastards up.
Yeah, that's what I was remembering in pictures, and that's why I looked it up. But to be honest, I should have just asked Rekid.
It's heavy as hell.
Hell is quite heavy.
I could transform into something quite large as well and carry it if we wanted to take it back.
Incidentally, I've never tried to bring up dragging capacity or carry capacity in any kind of DM discussion. Not saying you shouldn't. That's just a part of the game rules. I have just never had any desire to touch.
Was
just
it
somewhat realistic?
Was it large size?
I think it was
no. It was huge. I believe.
Huge. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a 3x3.
Yeah. I mean, I could turn into something equally.
How about this? We'll give you each a couple minutes to ponder on it while we take a 5-minute break. Means the original plan heading to Whitebridge, and with the expectation of it being overrun, maybe dragging the queen there wouldn't be a bad idea. Post his head up on a stick.
Yeah.
Good to go.
She's alive and a hostage.
We are making a head trophy for Rekid.
How much do we expect the head to maybe weigh if we cut the head off?
Thanks.
I'll have to look it up. I'd imagine, maybe an eighth of the weight. But
sure.
Let's go ahead and take our break. I'll give you guys a few moments to ponder on it, and then we'll see what you all come up with. As we make our way into the early morning hours, nearing 9 a.m., I believe on May 3rd.
All right, sounds good. Break time.
Yeah.
All right, you're back. That does sound yummy. As we get
Blueberry.
back,
Yes, the
Yum.
best flavor.
as we get back into game, Reckon with the snack. Me jealous. Dear, you've collected a basketball-sized stone. Weighs a decent amount. I mean, it's pretty hefty in your bag. You can go ahead and add that to your inventory and add for a weight of 35 pounds.
Okay.
But as each of you were discussing on exactly what to do next, you have inquired some sketches, little what'd you call rub marks of the runes on the rest of the stones.
All right, let's call them etching. Let's call them etchings, please. Thank you.
I felt like rub marks was just what we had landed on first, but
Is that what you like doing?
etchings is fine, I guess.
Is it?
So with your etchings of the runes, and your physical specimen as well, each of you discussing what to do next.
I think we should take the head of the queen and use it as intimidation. Assuming Whiterun is over. I mean, Whitebridge is overrun.
Should we also perhaps check to see if there is any treasure here?
Thought we did already, but if we want to check again.
Did we check at all? Really?
No, we had to leave fairly quickly.
I swear I thought we checked, but alright, let's check.
Yeah, I don't think we did we?
Alright, well let's set up some light so we can see better and
Okay, very well then. I cast light on the staff.
All right. So for each of you looking, can you go ahead and give me an investigation check?
oh, investigation.
Investigation. Show me potato salad.
So you're gonna have to go through,
damn.
turn over some of the rocks, rubble, all that good stuff. Onyx?
I wasn't looking.
Okay. I just
Okay.
wanted to make sure you didn't have a roll and it was like lagging or something.
fine.
Unfortunately, each of you do not find anything. There is a good amount of bloated corpses down here, but that's pretty much it.
My favorite kind of corpses.
Oh yeah. All the pustules.
Nice.
Did we find any other guild members from Lahles here in the bodies?
Yes, here and also down on the path as well.
Can we identify any of them so that way we can tell Bradgar when we get back who we found so that they can,
I will include that on your investigation, mainly just due to like the amount of like decomp. Some do seem a little familiar, but just, faces past. No
Okay.
names or introductions of that sort.
Gotcha. All right. Are there any ranks like and sigils on their like shoulders or anything that I could like from the guild that I might be able to bring back?
Yes, indeed. You will find 6.
All right, I'll take those and then
4
back to
are initiate and 2 lieutenants, resembling the ones that most of you have, except for Trace.
And then
Wow.
if I can, I just jot down the best description I can of them, like considering their bloatedness.
Sure.
Take DNA samples.
Wanna get a
I
piece
mean,
of
I guess if we got
parchment and
vials, we could.
get an etching of their face.
Well, I mean, I meant like vials of blood is what I thought you meant, but
Their faces.
Fingerprints. The usual.
Personally, I would prefer you did not violate their bodies any more than they already are.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
I'm not touching anything. Human problems.
Yes.
Human
Anyway.
problems. Yes, well, I think we can go to Whitebridge now.
Yes. Well,
With
we're
any
taking the
luck.
head, yes, of the queen.
Yeah, it might not be a bad idea. I'm sure perhaps there's still some venom in there.
Ah, yes. Might we be able to harvest it for Trace for his arrows? From my understanding, the poison from the queen was what almost killed our Sir Riffin.
Yes, and also me. Yes.
Oh yes, that too.
Yes,
I
that-
know.
thank you.
Well, I mean,
Oh, you were poisoned. I didn't know, could you?
a poisonous kit just says contain vials. I mean, I don't know what that means, but I assume I have vials, so I'll extract some poison.
Okay,
It's a very
so
vague
with each of you
description.
making your way back up, deciding not to really mess with too much of the dead other than getting a bit of details and grabbing their pins and insignias from the Corn Silk Rat, you each make your way back to the top. Down on the northwest side of the stone temple lies the queen. Just off to your west a bit, the two Yuan-ti with the snakes, the multiple snakes for arms. Krev, as you look over towards the queen, a question comes to mind. Which head are you going to take? Seeing that there are 7.
Well, it seems you are headed for no good.
Well, I guess we could each take one.
I think it's also fair to point out, as you take a look at them, Krev, at least 5 of them. Well, no, I think it was just 3 crits that you had rolled, or was it just 1? No, it was just 1. So 1 is pretty well. The head is pretty well popped from
All right,
one of
well, that
Trace's
one-
arrows.
Let's not take that one, I guess then.
Why do we need any heads at all, other than... I mean, if we need one, then take one, but I do not believe we need all 7.
Of course. Well, if anybody else wants one, they can take one.
I'm just going to take a random one and try to extract poison from it. Does it have fangs on the head?
Yes, it does.
Oh, I'm just going to pick one and extract poison from it.
And go ahead and give me the poison kit check.
Oh, Kadi or Kraft, could any of you guys give me some inspiration here? I'm feeling a little
I'll
down.
give
today.
you guidance, and then you said it's herbalism, or is it?
I have poisonous kit.
Oh, yeah, I don't have a poisoner's kit proficiency.
And with
Yeah, I do.
your dex modifier added to that, please.
Okie dokie.
Oh, of course, proficiency if you are, which I'm assuming.
Yeah, I am. And 1d4?
Guidance.
How much do the heads
18.
weigh? How much do the heads weigh each?
I was gonna say roughly an eighth of the weight. So, what would that be like?
Well, there's 7 heads.
Yeah. So then, broken down from there, we'll say what a couple 100 pounds at most, and then broken down to maybe 50 a pop.
Oh, so all of the heads weigh an eighth of the body.
Correct.
Oh my god.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. I thought you were saying they weigh an eighth each.
No, so it's
7/8 of the weight is in
an
the
eighth,
heads.
and then you break it down by a 7. That's why I'm just like, ooh, that's a lot
Alright,
of math
so-
I was not prepared for. I did not do my research on giant snakes with multiple heads before this. I'm sorry.
No, I apologize. We did not make this easy. I'm sorry.
I assume I extract some poison from the antique queen.
Yes, you will pull out a few driblets, not too much, unfortunately. From your knowledge of creatures and poison, unfortunately it's just been dead for a couple days at this point. Which,
Yeah.
speaking of a couple days at this point. I was mistaken. It's not the 3rd, but the 4th. For in-game time.
Okay.
All right. I take one of the undamaged heads.
Did we decide that working with bones is effectively the same as leather working? I know that that's how it was with chitin, but
I imagine it being, somewhat the same.
All right. I'll take a head too. How many fangs does a head have?
2.
All right. So it's just top fangs, no bottom ones?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a head too. How much is that? How many poundage on that?
We're just gonna call it 50.
Okay.
And did it have? Was it claws or was it using a sword or what?
Claws. I mean it. Well, from being relayed from Rekid, you know it that had cast spells as well.
I would harvest some claws as well.
Okay. I feel like with this little bit of inspiration, perhaps using these materials for other things, in the future, I'm guessing, not really sure what the plan is fully, but I'm sure you each have a couple of ideas up your sleeve. But with that in mind, Krev, it seems that you have kind of picked up a little bit of inspiration. Can you give me an intelligence check at advantage?
All right. Can I guidance it?
Sure.
Roll the guidance, but I will. 11, and then 12.
So you're fairly certain for using or utilizing stone into your equipment and armor. Perhaps this stone from the portal may be a good thing to take and to use.
Because it's magical. All right, yeah, I'd take as much stone as I can.
You can take, though, like 1 basketball size or, smaller ones from there, but that's your choice.
All right. Should I, say, a certain amount of weight-wise, or, how many pounds?
Be up to 35 pounds in weight.
Cool.
Perhaps you could also break it off into sheets and make a shield.
That's a very good idea.
Oftentimes I notice that the rock may break in sheets if you crack it correctly. Just a thought.
Perhaps there's a lot more you can do with it after each of you noting how it was broken but also how cleanly broken as well.
I mean, I have my mason's tools, so.
About how long would it take to harvest the queen's snakeskin to get scales?
Just taking a few scales off wouldn't take too long. If you were to skin the entire creature, the entire queen, that would probably take a couple of hours. It's fairly large. And, the assumption of wanting to do it carefully as well.
I would like to try and find an area where there's a large amount of stronger scales, or where the scales appear to be strongest. I'm assuming probably from the back, and then try to harvest those.
Yeah, that can be easily done. You even find some decent areas to start from Trace's arrow wounds. You can kind of dig in the knife. But if you can give me a survival check.
Would I be able to use leather working to harvest them?
Sure. Yeah, you got your toolkit.
take that then.
Use the skinning knife and everything that's applied into it. That's a good idea.
If not included already.
Oh, nice. A 28.
Maybe
Yeah, you can get a good amount, and I mean the scales seem, fairly well as well. As well, I guess is a good way to put it. It's nothing too tough, of course. Can be punctured by like arrows and things, but I mean they're pretty rough to the touch. So you can add 15 pounds of snake scales in great condition. Well, I guess you could in fact even just say perfect.
I'm just gonna put down queen scales. 15 lbs. All right. Apologies for holding everyone up. You know me, always looking for my next venture.
And as each of you say that, look around, notice Krev had disappeared. Then hearing his voice come back from atop the stone temple after scurrying down and grabbing a few more stones.
These will be great.
Glad to see you found some inspiration as well.
These could be useful for my armor or shield. Yeah, there's more down there if someone wants to take some.
I could put it into the dream, but honestly, I was thinking of waiting for the way back for that. It does not seem so important right now. I wouldn't want to carry it all the way to Whitebridge and then carry it back.
Yes.
I don't want to carry it into battle if I do not have to. At any rate, I'm ready for Whitebridge if everyone else is.
Sure.
All right. In that case, I guess we'll march our 8 hours.
You got
all
it.
right.
All right. So making your way there, just a couple of hours before nightfall, the sun catches this small little wooden village quite nicely. As you break out of the tree lines and follow the road down, each of you will see that there is this nice little quaint wooden village. It's nothing too large. From an estimate, it seems that maybe 100 individuals inhabit this area. But it seems to have a decent amount of individuals making their way, going down the streets as you make your way up. Noting that each of the buildings are made of wood. There is nothing too fancy here. However, making your way towards the center of town, or center of the village, you'll see a large stone lantern. Inside, a flame, giving off a bit of light.
See anyone around?
Yeah, there's a decent amount of people around. Humans, elves.
Is there like an alderman of the town? Or I'll ask someone.
Their eyes. Clear.
You find them to direct you towards Garrick, a male elf. Looking around, just to further answer your question there, Krev, there are halflings here as well. And you will also notice a couple of orcs, not too many, a couple of centaurs as well.
I concur. It would be very easy for some kind of 1T to sneak in here. Do they even have like a palisade wall around Whitebridge?
None.
And no guards?
Not that you saw.
Yes.
Walking in, you weren't even stopped. You just walked right towards to the center of the village.
All right. I would like to go find Garrick then.
So, after following a bit of direction, each of you make your way around and will indeed find Garrick. A male elf stands before you, a bit of a rounded face. You can see that he has put on a bit of weight as he's got a nice plump belly, sword sheathed at his side, with this nice braided long auburn hair and amber eyes. He's wearing studded leather, picking at his teeth with a like a twig as you all approach.
Garrick?
Ah, greetings. How are each of you? What brings you to Whitebridge?
Normal eyes, I presume?
Give me a perception check.
I mean, if I'm insight, I would check too. But...
Yeah. Each of you can give a look.
God. Wait, that's a nat 1, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Yeah. Cool.
Nice.
12,
It's like a
plus
20-something for you.
like a 23. Yeah.
Yep. All normal.
Well, Garrick, we are from Lahles. We are of the Cornsilk Rats. Just walking into town to see that Whitebridge was still safe. There have been 1T all around this area. I am surprised that Whitebridge is still safe.
He'll look at you. Begin shaking his head, like no, as he says, "But of course it's safe. Why wouldn't we be?"
Oh, why?
Insight. I mean,
yeah, yeah. I don't believe this. I agree with that.
22.
So from your insight, he's not trying to like hold anything back, but more so convey through a bit of silence that it's not safe.
Oh, I believe
Shall
this
we-
is what they call the sacrism.
He will then, at this point, as you each look a bit confused towards him, tap his right ear and swirl his finger around and say, "Well, Bradgar must be well, right?"
Oh, yes. Yes, we should go get a drink somewhere. Somewhere private.
We should. We should. This way. As he gestures you, towards
Pit of spikes.
Why did I make this? Towards the local Oysters Inn.
I mean, it is close to the sea, so I'll take it.
This city, right? The wood being used here, is it anything special?
Doesn't seem to be anything like of special note.
Okay, continue.
So as you make your way into the Lyrical Oysters Inn, you will note that this is a very poor tavern. It has quite a bit of creaky floors, little bits of cracks and holes in the wooden walls. Making your way, Garrick will explain on how this was once a grand tavern back in the day until someone poisoned the singing oysters in the tank. As you make your way in, you see this water a bit darkened. 8 oysters sit inside. Bits of bubbles still protrude from the openings. However, no sound. Their voice was wonderful. As you can see, not many people come here now. Sit, sit.
Stay at the door. Against the door entrance. Just watching out.
Maybe is there a place a little more private? I mean, is there people around? Like,
There are a couple of individuals around, but mostly the barmaid and the bartender. There's just one patron sitting at the bar.
are there private rooms? Private gathering rooms.
Yep. Right this way. Motions you upstairs. And then
Extend
brings
guard.
you to a room.
At the
Trace.
entrance to whatever room there is. Yeah.
But making your way into a bit of privacy, sitting on a chair, Garrick looks to each of you and says, "What are you all doing here? Why are you really here?"
Yeah, well, there's obviously a war going on. And we're, well, checking out the neighboring cities and looking for more Yuan-Ti outposts.
Well, I will tell you that it's not well here. You should be wary of who and where you speak.
That's why I suggested coming up here.
Of course, and you shouldn't gallivant and be so boisterous out in the streets.
What is the current condition here?
I believe there's only 4 of us that remain.
For who?
Those that aren't those wretched snakes.
Did we see more than 4 people when we came into town, I'm assuming?
Yes.
So
Looking around, again, estimating there be nearly 100 individuals in this village.
So are you saying that nearly 100 people here and they're Yuan-Ti in disguise? Or
Well,
what are you referring to?
those that they take come back, but they're not the same. Different
Okay.
eyes, different attitudes.
Yes, we've seen that before. The slits for eyes.
But that is a new one. We did not know that they came back.
Let alone non-humans. Before it was only humans, I believe.
The only friend I've made from that Bradgar sent over here is this orc that's been proving himself to be pretty stupid, but very well and handy.
Oh god, what is his name?
Snot.
Oh fuck.
You know him.
Yep. He is, how you say, foolhardy.
Who are the other 2 that we can trust here?
Myself. Beatra. She runs the tavern down below.
Why have you not left? If they've taken everyone else, it must only be a matter of time before they take you.
Yes.
To find out what I can before sending any information back to the guild.
Then you are very committed. This seems like a death sentence.
What, I mean, I would imagine the ones that have come back have they just not communicated with you at all since they've come back, or?
They have. They've tried to make it a bit less obvious, if you will, but they do seem a bit more aggressive from time to time, seeming to calm the more numbers they grow.
Have they tried getting any information from you of any kind?
None.
Hmm.
Do you know that a few have made their way south into Millstone? And
Well,
word has it as even far as Golden Leaf.
yes, that is very, very bad.
So, I don't feel like. Originally, we felt that they were spies, but I feel like it's more they're just replacing city members until they have the majority and then set up a coup to take over the town. That's what I would guess.
This implies that they have a method of converting members into 1T by some method,
Or brainwashing, at least.
at least.
Don't they want to enslave being?
I think the members of the town, what do they do? Do they just go about their daily lives, with whatever milling, chopping wood, the normal lives of peasants?
He'll shake his head yes. It almost seems that with a bit of oddness, they just seem to be fitting in.
Well, I have an idea. We could kidnap one of them and perhaps attempt to do a magical identification. Perhaps bring them back alive to study in Lahles. There might be a way of turning them back. But on the other hand, this does seem to destroy the idea of setting up trade caravans coming down this eastern road. It sounds that it may not be possible.
He'll shrug. No, I'm not sure. It seems that they gather enough to almost create a life here, but they only seem to gather what's truly needed, nothing more.
Lahles is going to need food. So you're saying there's no extra food here to trade for? Just the members of the village just collect what they need and that's it?
Some extra meat and things down in the tavern, the cellar down below.
I doubt this is...
Beatra hasn't, found her way out, being a quite individual. As he looks towards you, Krev, might like her. Seems a lot like you.
Really?
Yes, nice little small halfling. Very connected with nature. I've seen her turn into quite a very amount of animals.
Ah. Same as me.
And to be more direct, the only reason I'm a leader here in Whitebridge is being a retired soldier. I retired from the guild. Bradgarb helped me make this my new home.
How long have you known him?
70 years now, I believe.
Did you know his brother by any chance?
No, none. I did.
What did you think of him?
Unpleasant fellow. Not in necessarily actions, but jokes. And it's always looking to poke fun at the expense of others. It's not a very good trait, if you ask me.
Anything unusual about him?
No, not that I can think of.
Well, I think we need to. Personally, I think this kind of ruins the idea of using the Eastern Road as a trade mechanism or trade road, as long as Whitebridge, Millstone, and possibly even Golden Leaf are all infected with the 1T.
Well, we can send you back with some food if that's what you're looking for.
It may be of use, but we were looking for a more permanent solution to what we expect to be a longer problem.
Well, Snot's been helping collect bits of rations, some meat from the forest. And, well, with that in mind, perhaps there is something we can do.
Oh?
If he collects bits more, and knowing that Lahles needs food, then perhaps we can just send him there with it. Doesn't seem to have much of an issue making his way alone.
Does that put you in danger, having him leave here?
Makes me have to be a bit more active, yes.
I mean, at a certain point, Bradgar has to understand that it's too risky to have you stay here. Does he understand that how few of you there are left?
Indeed.
And he still wishes you to stay here?
So,
He lets me make my own call. I don't work for him, I just provide him the information.
it just I wonder if maybe are these people like magically enslaved maybe, or are they actually being turned into 1T? I think it's odd that they don't fight, but question, when people are taken, is it the 1T who take them, or is it other villagers?
The villagers that have been taken previously by the auntie, yeah.
So the villagers also take people.
Correct.
Well, that is quite worrisome. I guess the villagers must not have much combat ability.
Most here just bits of hunters and gatherers. The only one here with a bit of heart for battle is the halfling downstairs.
Alright, well, What does everyone else in the party want to do? Because I'm kind of stumped with.
Well, I want to know. Well, I hope I overheard the conversation even though I was standing in the door. You said you'd known Bragda for 70 years. Was he a child back when you started knowing him? Or...
Correct. Indeed.
Okay.
He knew his father before he left to go back home.
Tell me about his father. Do you know anything about him?
Well, should be past by now. Humans don't live too long. But a good fellow. Kind-hearted. Smart.
But human.
Well.
How about his mom?
He'll shrug. Never met her.
That makes a lot of sense. Off topic, I'm just talking to the GM now. If I saw Bragda now, would I assume he would be 75? Or would he appear younger?
Seems a bit younger.
Fair enough. Thank you.
He is a healthy guy.
Fair.
You'll never guess who's adopted.
He moisturizes. Well,
So,
do you all not think it to be wise to stay here? Should we all just take what we can and head back?
I think that may be best for you, for Snot, and for others. It seems like it's only a matter of time until you disappear too. And Lahles could use the extra hands.
well, it's nice to have eyes here. I mean, are you even getting information at this point anymore? I mean, not to discount your work here, but
Well,
sounds like they kind of...
After they seemed to have taken the ones that they wanted, they just moved south.
Yes.
I think we have to assume that these towns will be awash
It
until
seems-
we deal with the 1T.
In my observation, it seems your research here is complete. Yes?
He'll shrug. I'm just gathering what my eyes tell me.
It seems that they keep their actions pretty under wraps, though. Right? They don't...
They almost seem normal. If they weren't taking those through the nights, then there would almost be no suspicion.
Well, there's almost no one left to take, so... How long has it been down to the four of you?
Feels like years. Perhaps a couple of weeks. Close to a month.
What was the frequency of their kidnappings? Was it a couple weeks?
Almost every night for a while.
Hmm.
So, are we assuming that these people are different people, or is it them inside?
We don't know. That's kind of what we're trying to...
Yeah, but I'm thinking, shouldn't it? I mean, I think Gadia has the right to call. We should kidnap one. Because if it's the case that they are not the same people, I think we should find like a high tower, a couple of rabbits, and just sit up there all night shooting them.
Are you talking about just... I'm sorry, did you say get up in a tower and just shoot people? Is that what you said?
Yeah, if they turn out they can't be reversed, or they, like, whatever it might be. We need to kidnap one of them and see if they can be turned back or not.
Alright, so we just follow one of the lumberjacks out into the forest then.
I think that's a good call.
If these are just the villagers and now they have different eyes, I think we can take them.
Good point.
Well, could we just load one up here? I mean, wouldn't it be fucking easy? No offense. Or isn't it like a barmaid whose turn to say, "Could you bring us a couple of beers?" And it's just, "Puduk."
100. You said 100 people. You think we could take 100 people, Racket?
I mean, I'll take half. Y'all take half. It'll be fine.
Somebody's a bit punchy.
And if it turns out they're just being mind controlled, are we just killing innocent people?
Yes, that is my distaste for this.
Well, some of us can knock them out unconscious.
And some of us would blow holes in their chest. Looks at Trace. I wasn't talking about me.
Oh, you cutie.
Fucking firing cannons at people all goddamn day.
That's like his stomach blood on the ground over there.
Like, he's firing a bow and arrow, but it might as well be a fucking ballista.
That's a true statement. Garrick will pipe up and say, so what's the plan? Are you all looking to capture one of them? Or are we looking to leave?
We need to capture one.
First one, then the other.
We'll alert the others to start gathering food and prepare when we leave during the night or in the morning.
I think it may be best if we leave in the night.
I don't know if we can travel very far, though. We just got here. How long have we been traveling?
About 6 hours to get here at this point.
So we can only travel about 2 hours.
It's about 2 hours till it gets, near the end of your travel time. And
you're right. We don't want to hit forced march territory.
I mean, we can travel 2 hours just to get out of town, but then they might start chasing us. I don't know. If they realize the 4 humans, or not, non-Yuan-Ti, I mean.
I have the assumption that they're not self-thinking, though. As we talked about a few sessions ago. I think they're like, I don't know.
Yes, it could be that they are only activated in the presence of a true Yuan-Ti.
Exactly, yeah.
It's the fact that they are only aggressive sometimes, and the rest of the time they are just autopilot, so to speak.
Yeah.
We could set a trap.
Could they be hiding a Yuan-Ti somewhere in town? I mean, or more than one?
Well, if you want to follow people around and find out, then feel free. But I think we should try to follow a lumberjack, and I can cast Identify on them. And that might yield information. Failing that, we can. Failing that, we capture them and take them back to Lahles for Renus and Bradgar to study.
Should we rest and then in the morning try to capture someone?
Yes. Preferably early morning before light.
Yes. So where would be safe, air quotes, safe to rest for the night?
Right here, I assume. Upstairs in the office?
Well, the more of us that stay together, then, well, enough to keep watchful eyes while the others sleep.
Yes, agreed.
There might be some value in letting one of us get captured on purpose.
By 100 people.
I mean...
I presume you are volunteering?
Of course. I mean, they'll take the weapons away from the prisoner, but what they don't know is my greatest weapons are attached to my wrists and ankles.
Yes.
You know. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying,
It's not like the entire village is out looking for people to steal at once. There's not 100 people walking through the streets, I assume.
No. But if you're captured by 5 or more of them, It could be risky.
Perhaps. I can run very fast, though.
Oh, this is true.
Well, why don't each of you get some rest? I will let the others know of the plan.
So, I would like to... so, I presume we're in a back room. Is there, like, a hallway leading to the back room?
Mm-hmm.
Or perhaps a...
Trace has been keeping an eye on.
Are there populated people near it?
There is only, like, 3 other people in here, besides each of you. 2 of which, the bartender and the barmaid. The barmaid, you know to be a druid. And just a single patron at the bar.
All right. What I would like to do, so I guess we're going to be like resting in this personal room.
Yeah.
What I would like to do is I would like to set an alarm on any doors and windows in this room as a ritual cast.
Got it.
And I'll set it so that it does not ring, but it rings a bell only in my head.
Perfect. Anybody got anything else before getting a night's rest?
No.
No.
Okay, so as Kadir, you begin to cast the spell. Garrick will just make sure that he can enter without, causing any issue.
Anytime the door opens, and someone crosses it, someone crosses the line of alarm, then I hear a bell go off in my head, more or less.
I'm going to quickly walk back and forth 100 times between the door openings.
Oh, no.
I kill Trace. I send him to the Shadow Realm.
PvP.
And I'm going to do it with my mightiest card, Exodia.
Exodia.
Oh no.
I have assembled all 5 pieces, Trace. What will you do now against my most mighty card combo?
Continue crossing in and out of the door.
Fuck!
So of course, as Garrick makes his way out, the alarm will sound in your head, which you anticipate, as he goes and lets the others know. The druid and your old friend Snot. From, like session 1? Long time
Literally,
ago.
actual session 1, yeah.
But we'll look to you, Trace, and say, I'll leave the door open if you wish. If not, close it.
No, I'll close it, don't worry.
Okay. And then close, and of course he makes his way away.
I've had the alarm spell all this freaking time, and I never cast it. But then again, thankfully, we've never been attacked at night, so...
Nope.
I can't wait till that changes right now.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Mercenary?
So, as each of you make your way through the night, if there's nothing that you'd like to take care of, then we'll just move on to the next day.
Alright, sounds good. I would like to spend some time... I'm not really... I'm not really worried about it. I'll handle it later. Never mind. Just resting.
Got it?
Yep.
So, moving on to May 5th.
It's the holiest day in Denmark.
You guys complete a short rest, so if there is any hit dice needed, I don't think so from the past few nights, but just in case. But each of you gaining a decent amount of hit dice back from Kadir, you working your way down to 1. I think Rekid, you got pretty close too.
Yeah.
At the end of yours.
You get one hit
back
dice
for a short rest. So in total, if from the last encounter on the first, moving to the second and into the fifth, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4. You should have up to 4 back. So if you had 1 previously, you should be at 5.
All right, I should be at 4 then. I miscounted. Good to know. Yeah, after I went down to 0, I had to burn them all, so.
All right. Well, as each of you wake, your night undisturbed, Garrick leaving you to go about your business with the plan on just alerting the others, leaves you into a nice new day.
All right, let's go kidnap a villager.
Any preference?
Just invite someone up here. I mean, isn't that super easy?
I should probably invite them outside of town. If others notice us carrying someone tied up by rope, it's going to be attention drawing.
Well, we go out into the forest. Rekid knocks them out. I tie them up, manacle them, perhaps to a tree. We come back for them later. Do not forget, I have metal manacles.
Yes. Do they go out exploring in the forest too, Ephraim?
I
Or do
presume
they stay in town?
if they are lumberjacks and hunters, they must.
Yes, opportune targets. Sounds like we've got an idea of who we're going after then. Shall we wait in the forest then?
I mean, we could just follow someone out.
Well, yes. True.
Or better yet, have Trace hunt a hunter.
But I've normally killed things, Joe.
Well, I mean, you just hunt them and find them, and then Rekid can punch them for you.
Sure.
All right.
Unless you have some type of new bow that could perhaps fire Rekid at them.
Oh, we need to work on that.
Some kind of crazy ballista or something.
Some may even call it a catapult.
I mean, ballista, catapult, same thing.
That might count as a magical attack too.
Oh, your fist is magical now?
I mean, you are the best wizard in the world, so.
I mean, it's like using +1 arrows, except you're the arrow. But
I never would have thought of it that way. Can we count Rekid as ammunition? I know he's a creature and all, but I don't think there's any explicit rule that says that creatures can't be ammunition.
Yeah, but you only get back 50% of your ammunition.
Well, I guess if you use Rekid as ammunition, he comes back as a halfling.
Or yeah,
Nice.
there's two ways to take this.
Oh my
Either
God.
there's a 50% chance to find Rekid after you fire him, or he gets bisected every time you fire him.
Which would you prefer, the top or the bottom half of Rekid? Anyways,
Oh,
Always the bottom.
of course.
Mm,
As each
thank
of
you.
you make your way out, you will indeed spot a couple of individuals cloaked in a brown cloak with a hood, and 2 each carrying a axe over their shoulder, heading out west of Whitebridge.
2
All right.
hostages. Does that work?
Yep, sure, whatever.
Let's follow them.
No.
At a safe distance of 120 feet.
Or we can like track them, right? Not exactly.
Right. Track. That was the word I was looking for, not hunt.
We will track them like 200-300 feet behind them or so.
Sounds great.
And hopefully, you will inspire me with some guidance.
Yes, take guidance.
And Krev assist me.
Sure.
As long as you have advantage, I'm assuming as long as you don't roll a nat 1, you're probably fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. So, as you make your way out, you both rolled a 1. That's perfect.
Yeah.
As you each make your way out, you follow these two without any issue. And eventually, they make it to a bit of trees and begin chopping.
Oh, they're commoners, right?
That's what it appears to be.
This is actually a good test.
Can I make
I have an idea. I have the perfect thing for this.
Can I make
If
a
it doesn't
perception?
work, be ready. Okay?
Right. I want to make a perception, make sure there's no one else around and no one else watching us.
Sure.
Advantage.
They're standing close together, right?
Fairly close. I mean, on either side of the tree, so just, a foot or two away.
Oh no,
I'm
I
going
only
to
got a 30 on my perception.
I'm going to stealth up, so
You don't see anyone
90
else?
I'm going to stealth up, so I'm 90 feet from them.
Okay.
That was a bad roll.
For you,
Yeah, it was. Jesus Christ.
And sleep.
Got it? You're going to cast Sleep?
Yes.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's quite as good as Reked's spell of Fist.
But if it instantly works, then this is easier.
As you begin casting Sleep, can you give me a perception check?
Perhaps.
They're both elves.
And can the rest of you give me a perception check at disadvantage?
No.
Oh no, my 25 at disadvantage.
Wow. Fuck
Nice.
you, buddy.
Nice.
Trace, Krev, Kadir, as Trace begins casting this, each the three of you will note the two that turn after Trace begins casting a spell, of course. Each of you examine them, looking them over just a bit, and noting this to be Gregory and Brian, those that you have rescued from the spiders and the orcs.
Oh no.
Both to their sleep. though.
Wait, I thought
Wait.
we brought one of those back with
And
us.
with that is where we'll call tonight's session.
Oh.
But did the spell work or not? Oh,
I thought
no.
Sir Riffin was
We'll
the guy
find
that
out.
was from the spiders. Yeah.
All right. Man, fucking Return of the Body Snatchers. Sorry. They're
What we doing,
stealing.
Rick?
Badoosh. More
Wah.
questions.
Only
And
one alive, don't worry.
it's not a modern horror.
But I will give you the satisfaction of knowing if your spell worked.
Did it?
Next session.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh,
Oh,
I was gonna say, like, why the fuck would you do that now? You already have us. It's like you already.
No, because happy birthday, Kadir, by the way, since I didn't say it yet. Just so you know.
I could. Yeah, thank you. That's very nice of you. This is a really good timing to choose to say that.
It's what you call buttering him up. I think that's what you did to Trace when you convinced him to go hunting for rabbits, so you guys didn't have to burn rations.
Well, no. I was just doing that because I felt bad about the not having rabbit.
you should.
Sure. I'm just playing. Does anyone have anything they'd like to shout out or say before we get out of here tonight?
Merry
Yeah.
Christmas.
I would like to make a shout out to Kyle's complete ability to always have cliffhangers. It's kind of a problem.
Some would call it a talent. That some being, I think, just me.
Yeah, no, that was literally just you.
Well, I hope you guys had fun tonight. And I know next week we're going to have off. But tomorrow night we have the Raven's Nest as we continue our combat with the multi-headed dog and some cobra/koi snakes. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sounds cool.
But with that, everyone have a good night and see you next time. Be safe. Bye-bye.
So, question: do they know how? Do they know